Okay, we on live.
All right, shalom, shalom. We
Shalom.
the brothers in the gym, Mess New Orleans. We coming back at you with another sit down. Prior to getting started, as we always do, we like to give infinite honors and prayers to
Yeah.
Yahweh,
And
Hashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashim, Kakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and salutation to the items that's pushing the truth and sincerity. Lord willing, this video will be edifying first and foremost to the Hufi elect, then to those that keep to the body. And as you know, you're going through your timeline, you see things happening. You know, as we measure the times, all right, we measure them by, you know, the things that's happening, you know, in the surrounding areas, all right, and even in other places. Okay, and today we'll just talk about the food supply chain, all right, along with the famine of food, all right, the lack of bread, all right, and amongst other things, whatever the spirit allow. Okay, so I'll start right here, Yakana, with this food supply chain. I'll just read little a quick little article. Well, not article, but I just pulled our food supply chain. All right, so we could just get a quick understanding of what it how it actually process and what it does to our, you know, to the way that we receive it, the way that it comes out, it comes in and out. All right, through, you know, through trade and different things of that nature. All right. It says, I just got here in food supply chain pulled up in Google. All right. It says a food supply chain or food system is the series of processes that move food from farms to consumers. It includes production, processing, distribution, consumption, and disposal. The chain involves multiple stakeholders, including farmers, manufacturers, distributors, and retailers. How it works: food moves systematically from producers to consumers, while money flows in the opposite direction. Every step requires human and natural resources. All right. So as I read that, right, the production, the processing, the distribution, consumption, okay, all these things is included in stakeholders, farmers, and manufacturers. Now on the screen right here, we have the brother, the elder brother from Charlotte. All right, I believe his page is GMS Precepts Upon Precepts. I believe the brother name is the
Asha.
elder brother Ashia, huh?
Yeah.
Khan. Right now we're looking at a lesson earlier this morning with him, and it's entitled right here. It says farmers are going bankrupt. Scarcity of harvest. Let the Hunger Games begin. All right, because contrary to popular belief, farmers play a big role in the food that Jay consumes. Because most brothers live in cities, all right, or urban areas where, you know, we just got Walmarts. We don't even really have fields to actually plant. And then if you do, all right, there's so many government, you know, citations and different things will stop you from growing. All right. And then Jake don't have the knowledge to do it as well. You know, Jake don't live in the countryside and Jake is not privy to that knowledge. But ultimately, all right, because these farmers are going bankrupt, and this was strategically done. All right. I think Zaquan, you probably could back me up on it. During the flooding in the Midwest, all right, where most of the, you know, the crops is grown, different things of that nature. I believe didn't BG, didn't he buy a lot of agriculture, like a lot of the farmers out? Then it was like buying a lot of the farmers out or
Yeah, I got
something
it
like that.
right. It's funny that you
Got
said that. I had that on deck right here. Well,
okay.
I'll let you see it for yourself.
Come on, you pop.
Hold up. I gotta slide it into this other screen. Slug it.
Yeah. Food is a vital source into how we sustain, man, and how we live. And that's why this devil is attacking the food, man, because he control the airways, the ships. All right, you know, he shut the ports down. All right, and he also slapped tariffs. All right, for trade, you know, buying and selling. You know, and it's all strategically done through the Lord. But you
Hey,
got Mr. Khan. I can't really say it. I gotta get up a little closer. Say it.
I got
Okay,
some.
yeah, Khan. Yeah, that's beautiful. It says BG. Can I say his name? I should be able to say his name, huh?
I
They
call
don't.
him Kill Gates, man.
Yeah, yeah. Kill
Kill
Gate.
Gates. Yeah.
Killgate farmland ownership. All right. It says Killgates own approximately 2,700 275,000 acres of farmland in the United States. Now, keep in mind, when this guy hit the scene some years ago, wasn't he like a tech, a IT tech or something like that?
Yeah, he was a so-called tech guy, but he wasn't. He was set up though, man. You know.
Yeah, of course. You know,
Yeah, was set
I'm
up.
just saying. This is
He's supposed to be a tech whiz. You know.
yeah, tech whiz, man. It says making him one of the largest private landowners in the country. His investments are primarily managed through his assets management firm, Cascade Investments. We might need to look that up. No telling what's in there. All right. So as you stroll down, it says acres of farmland across the United States, the breakdown of holdings, the type of land, active farmland. All right. Well, the food supply chain is processed. All right. That's the processing of it. All right. Through that processing, it's also distributed, you know, from the farmland into the consumers or the consumption of stores. Then it's bought. All right. And furthermore, it says Gates, oh no, the other holdings, 27,000 acres. It says investment strategy. Gates began investing in farmland around 2013 through his investment firm, Cascade Investments. His goal is to improve productivity and create jobs rather than to build a personal empire. Geographical distributions. Gates farmland is spread across 17 states with significant holdings in states like Nebraska, where he owns 20,000 acres. Market context. His investments are a part of a broader trend where wealthy individuals are acquiring farmland, which has been seen as a stable investment that appreciates over time. And a lot of these farmers, when you look online, all right, they complaining, all right, and ultimately these big wigs is pushing them out, all right, because they usually, you know, get their crops and they sell, and that's the way they make their livelihood. But some of these big wigs that came in told them to kill their livestock off, all right, you know, start planting particular seeds given by them, or they gonna, you know, they gonna shut them down. Which you probably could speak on that more. All right.
And that's why the year of the C-19. That's why you had a bunch of slaughterhouses. You had a bunch of places that had chickens and shit. They miraculously burned to the ground and different shit, man. Because it was making them do that, you know.
Chicken processing centers too, all around America just started miraculously catching on fire, you know. And these are all things you can look up and see. All right. They were just catching on fire. No one was there, they just caught on fire, man.
Yeah, all right. I don't know why that. Oh, there you go. I don't know why they were doing that, but yeah, this brother got a good one. Their brother Nabat, Yahweh Joshua Brakatah, Shalom Mat.
Hey, Shalom Mat, Yahweh Joshua Brakatah.
Yeah, that good one.
Come on, it's Micah 2:2, and they covered fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man in his house, even a man in his heritage. You want to break it down?
Yeah, and that's what they do, man. As you can see, this guy is they're just doing a bunch of coveting fields, man. I mean, that's been E's motto since the beginning. You know, you have resources and crops and things that you want, or the biggest scheme of things, as we can see what Kill Gates doing, is for control. All right, I'm gonna come and buy out most of the wealth of the land, you know, buy out farmers and do what I want to do. And then when it's time for these places to when it's time for, you know, things to really go down, they can stop all the flow of food, man. Mm-hmm. There ain't no crops, ain't nothing growing. Right? There's nobody out there farming the land. So that's what they do for control, you know. And this is one of the main guys, man. You know, that's why you have guys like him. You got Elon and them talking about there's not going to be any need for people to do much of nothing through AI and through other plans that they have, man. You know. They want to actually, destroy much people as they can. Then on top of that, it's a company I think called APIL or something like that Kill Gates own, and he started producing, genetically modified, crops, and he put them in the stores in Walmart, man.
Yo.
What is I think that I seen a bunch of shit in lemons from this guy. I know it was avocados and I think watermelons and shit, man. Which the Lord put these things here that these different crops and vegetables and things that the Lord put here, he put them to have seeds. This devil is producing them in labs and whatnot, and they don't produce seeds, man. They don't have no nutrients, no nothing in them, man. And also just cause the big C word in you, man. Ultimately, or whatever else, whatever else they got them modified to do. All right.
Yeah, that's part of their plan also to get the people to ultimately depend on them for eating. All right, because they know how important nourishment is. All right, and that's why they attack that. Because again, if you want to put people in straits, right, you take away the things that basically keep them surviving, which is food, water. All right, and ultimately these devils have poisoned that. All right, through many ways, man. All right, like the brother said, they done replaced, they genetically modified the food. All right, and then they done raised the price of water and different things of that nature. So what happens is now the dependency on those natural things, they done turned them, they done modified them, made things artificial. All right, and ultimately they're the hoarders of all the things artificial. And then you have to go and purchase and buy. All right, and now they have put you in a position where this is the only thing left for you to get. All right, there's no more food anywhere besides Walmart. You can't go to these farms and actually go and get fresh fruit. Like the brother said, fresh bread, even fresh meat. That he done hoarded all these things up. I got a quick pre for you too, brother.
That was the bigger, and you go look into other things, with the Reconstruction of America. That was the biggest scheme of things, man, to get you wealthy Edomites. All right, that was in the South and different various places that had farms. Even you Jakes that had farms. You had, back then you had land, you had crops, you had John Deere tractors, and you knew how to till the land. What the biggest scheme of things was to get you out of those places like that and get you where? In these concrete jungles called cities, man. And they did it. And you gave up your land, you sold your land, all right. Instead of going to Mr. Uncle Ben's, you went to Mr. Charlie, man. All right. And that's what really, when you get into it too, that's what that civil rights shit was about, man. A lot of that shit was about want to sit down and eat with the man, all right, at his table, at his restaurant, and you left from off dealing with your own, man. And look where they got you, nowhere. Now you fast forward to now, the Jakes in these inner cities, the Louisiana's, different cities in Louisiana. It may be Tennessee, maybe Mississippi, Alabama, all right, Texas. They don't know how to do shit, man. The bulk of them. Jake don't even. If you put a seed in front of Jake, they don't even know what to do with it, man. All right, but go ahead. I had one.
I got one for you too. I actually got two. I got that in Deuteronomy, and where our land will be cursed. All right, and I also got this one real quick. This Sirach 40 and 29. It says the life of him that depended upon another man's table is not to be counted for a life, for he polluted himself with other man's meat. But a wise man, well nurtured, will beware thereof. All right, so we understand this devil is trying to make you have to depend on him in every single way. Now, don't get it twisted. All right, we get our food and our water from this devil. All right, but we depend on Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai for our lives, man. All right, to make sure, because Jake pick up serpents and eat and live. All right, but it's through the spirit of the Lord that he's protecting us from this damn devil, man. All right, we not going to, at the end of the day, the elect men of the Lord is not going to have to depend on this man for food and water that much more longer. All right, because the Lord going to intervene as he did in the wilderness and give us the bread and water we need, man. All right, to sustain us. But go ahead, Doc.
Yeah, this is you could break it down. This is Second Esdras, chapter 16, verse 18. It says, "In the beginning of sorrows and great mourning, the beginning of famine and great debt, the beginning of wars, and in the powers shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come?" Question mark. All right. And it goes on to say, 19, "Behold, famine and plagues and tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for the amendments. But for all these things, they should not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges." This is the point right here. Everything else is the point. It says in 21, it says, "Behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth that they should think themselves to be in good case, and even then shall evils grow up on the earth, sword, famine, and great confusion." All right. It says, "For many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine." All right. And the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. All right. And it goes on to say, "And the dead shall be cast out as dung, and there shall be no man to comfort them, for the earth shall be wasted, and the city shall be cast down." That's it.
So, like the brother said, just to pack it all in, a lot those things are scourges for amendment, pestilence, and different things like that. But again, that's not going to affect the men of the Lord. Now, again, these famines, pestilence, and plagues is really for the 2/3 and the wicked, man. Because do not the scriptures of the Lord say, "My men shall eat in that day"? All right, my men shall laugh. All right, we gonna be covered. All right, but we also know that it have to be a breaking down of this world. All right, this America, the good old US of A. All right, the Lord about to hit this place with plagues, pestilence. He have already started, and they not slack, man. All right, but for these scourges and amendments, people still not gonna turn to the Lord. All right, and that's why they're not gonna be defended in that day. All right, because they didn't acknowledge or understand that the day of the Lord was at hand, man, on what's going on. And you can see the system is failing, Jake, in many ways more than none. Right, they holding back the SNAP benefits. Come on, what, couple days? All right, we gonna see it then. Saturday. And then check this out. I saw an article where the Waltons or whoever they is, they say they closing all the Walmarts. So can't nobody go in them. So what you gonna do now? All right, what if they say they're gonna put military troops around it, National Guards? What if they say they're gonna do that? Rumor has it they closing them, though. You got it.
Because the NW had already put her threats out there. She already said, basically, if they go, E go with his move on the SNAP benefits, that they're gonna run up in the spot and just take what they want. And if anybody run behind them, they're gonna either end up in the ER or in the spirit world. Just talk. Jake just be talking, man.
Yeah.
Jake just be talking though. We don't believe you, man. At this point,
we don't believe you.
We don't believe you, man. Like we say down here, man. Everybody playing.
Everybody playing, man. And to the joke, to the rabbit got the gun, and the joke's on them until they really don't, give these people these benefits, because they say in 2 Esdras 9 it says many have received benefits, all right, and they have loathed my law, and they had not known the Lord. So a lot of these people gonna be in a pitiful case, all right, once these things start to come down. But a lot of these things happening, all right, you shouldn't marvel at, because according to Deuteronomy 28:16, I'm gonna read a couple verses down, and you got it. Like it says, "Cursed shall be thou in the city, and cursed shall thou be in the field. Cursed shall be thy basket and thy store." You can speak on that if you want to speak on that one.
No, you can go ahead. I'm trying to find this other one for you, though.
So cursed shall be thy basket and thy store. All right. And Haggai 1:6, it already say Jake is making holes. Making bags with holes in it. All right. So not only is Jake not making enough money, but they're also the assistants that get Jake through their regular lives. All right. The Lord is taking that away from Jake, because again, it's gonna be no cloak for these people maliciousness, man. And You know what happens, all right? When you be disobedient towards the Lord will make you eat your children, man. All right. And a lot of these end doves, they already, they already harding against their young ones. Once they don't get them stamps, all right, and those benefits, that social security, amongst other things, because they say they cutting that off too. All right, we gonna see though. Once they don't get those gifts, their heart's gonna be destroyed. And what they gonna do? They gonna take it out on their damn children, man. You got it, bro.
Yeah, I got one for you real fast. I found it. It says, this is Baruch 2:2. All right. It says, to bring upon us great plagues such as never happened under the whole heaven, as it came to pass in Jerusalem, according to the things were written in the law of Moses, that a man should eat the flesh of his own son and the flesh of his own daughter.
Yeah, man gonna eat the flesh of his own arm. All right, because they trusted. What it say? Trusting in man or the flesh of the arm of man. Is it Isaiah? I may be paraphrasing it wrong. All right, but it says that a man should eat the flesh of his own son and the flesh of his own daughter, which goes back to cannibalism. All right, because what? They didn't have any food. All right, what that was in Kings Aquan, where it says a dung head was sold for 3 shekels and a 4 thing, yeah. All right, yeah, dung cakes. All right, that was going to happen because our people always been. That's the consequences of disobedience. All right, and our people have been a disobedient and gainsaying people up until this point, and that's why the Lord gonna, make you those children you love, Jake. The Lord gonna make you devour them. All right, it spoke about that in Kings where one of the women cooked her sons, and the other woman was supposed to cook her son. All right, and she took off, but they ate one of the women's sons, and the other one left. You got it, bro.
Yeah, this is 2 Kings chapter 6, verse 25. And it says, and there was a great famine in Samaria, and behold, all right, they besieged it until an ass's head was sold for 80 pieces of silver. And
yeah, they besieged it.
Go ahead.
They besieged it, right? Famine, when you go into famine, it's starvation. All right, it's hunger. All right, it's starvation. It's the lack of bread. All right, and because of the lack of bread, a person will result to anything. When desperation kick in, all right, in adversity, you'll see a man true heart. All right, and that's what the Lord gonna bring on these people through these plague, pestilence, and the things you read in 2nd Esdras. All right, scourges for amendments. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, like I forgot who said it. Said when people lose everything,
they lose it.
Which
when
is
people
true.
lose it, they lose it. Constantly, you got it.
Yeah, it goes on to say, it says, until an ass's head was sold for 80 pieces of silver, and the 4th part of a calf's of dove's dung for 5 pieces of silver.
Yeah, shit. Beast dung or whatever it is. People was buying shit. So that means people was bought to the very lowest state. And when you deal with scarcity, all right, which that brother who did this lesson right here, which prompted this video, all right, beautiful lesson by the way too. Brothers need to check it out. All right, when you deal with the scarcity of harvest, again, then what goes up? Violence, all right, rage, all right, people getting killed, all right, and amongst other things like the brother, cannibalism, all right, amongst other things, man. Look it up.
You got one more. It says, and the king of Israel was passing by upon the wall. There cried a woman and said unto him, help, my lord, O king. And he said, if the Lord do not help thee, whence shall I help thee?
Yeah.
Out of the born floor or out of the wine press. You see?
Yeah. If the Lord don't help you people, how can we? All right. And the Lord have put his prophets out there to basically where you at? What verse you at?
2 Kings 6 and 26.
Go to 28, go down to 29 when the woman ate her son. All right.
And it says in the end said, if the Lord do not help thee, whence shall I help thee? Out of the barn floor or out of the wine press. And the king said unto her, What?
With Salaki is the coin. I don't mean to cut you off. The barn flow going to, I think, the corn, the production of food or the wine press of drinking. All right. Of or the blood or the grapes or different things like that. All right. I believe it's it's like the corn and the wheat maker and different things like that. Don't quote me on it, but I believe so. But go ahead.
And then it goes on to say, and the king said unto her, What liest thee?
Elliot, like what body? What elder?
And she answered, This woman said unto me, Give thy son that we may eat him today, and we will eat my son tomorrow.
Now wait, what you read in Baruch? That man shall eat the flesh of his own arm too, huh? You just read it in what, Baruch 2 and 2?
Yeah, 2 and 2 or something like that.
Yeah, because it says and real quick.
This is the thing that happened, man. This has really happened. All right, and it's gonna happen again on an even lower scale. All right, when you have these storefronts, these mom and pop, these big box chain stores truly closed down for various different reasons, and there's no food out here, man, people gonna resort to doing these type of things, man, at a lower scale. These people are in these cities, in these inner cities, they used to fast food, 4 for 2s and shit, whatever you want to say, 4 for 4s. They used to eating like that, going in and buying. You got people still buying microwave dinners, man. All right, because they like the shit fast for convenience. But when these things run out, nobody knows how to fish. Nobody knows how to Rich. It's gonna get so bad. You ain't gonna have time to plant seeds and watch them grow and benefit from them. All right, you ain't gonna be no time for all that. But it goes on to say that we may eat him, and she had hot. My bad, I missed that part. I'm gonna go up to 29. It says, so we boiled my son and did eat him, and said,
so we hold on. She's sitting there saying they boiled her son and ate him. All right, like, so what position you gotta be in to literally prepare, like, get the water boiling, season them, put salt on them or whatever, and really just eat your flesh and blood. Like, a son was sought after in these times very high, because they had the understanding of what a son produces, production, his lineage. He continues the man line. So the woman was well aware of what sons do. All right, but though yet they brought their son all because they was in a famine. All right, they was just in a famine. They wasn't dead. They was in a hard time. Go ahead.
I said, well, she did.
Well, she did. Salaki, my bad, brother.
She bought her son.
Yeah.
All right. And like I say, she went with her move, man.
Yeah.
All right. And it goes on to say, and I said unto her on the next day, give thy son that we may eat him. And she hid her son. All right.
Yeah.
It came to pass when the king heard the words of the woman that he rent his clothes, and he passed by upon the wall, and the people looked, and behold, he had sackcloth within upon his flesh.
Yeah, because that was a hard sign. All right, when you sit in here, she's complaining to you about how the other lady didn't allow her to eat her son, and they had eaten her son. I mean, that's a bad position to be in, man. All right, that's a position of difficulty. All right, so due to the famine, that people is torn apart. You want to say something?
And that's we speaking this, but that's a thing that's going to come back in style, man.
Yes, brother.
You may be somewhere you overhear this type of conversation between two women. You might hear this between some other folks of what they done. All right, because this how low, once again, things gonna hit rock bottom. And due to Bill Gates buying up all the crops, due to the benefits of SNAP running out, things are finna get bad, man.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They're gonna get way worse before they get good. You best believe that.
Yeah. And all this trickled down from the scarcity of food. All right, just from famine, All right, which the Lord speak about that, man. You know, the Lord gonna take away the mirth from this place, and you know, many people are lived in pleasures, man, as they've been living. All
Great,
right, and the Lord ain't with that, huh?
great pleasures too, man.
Yeah,
Well, let me get
scarcity.
my one. Let me get my one right there, man.
I got this word scarcity in the OE. It says insufficiency, want, and dearth. Now, the women is a whole nother thing from the men. Yeah, the men, the men don't know, they bred it to survive. All right. They can get out there and bang, they lions. All right. But the women is not built like that. That's why in Nehemiah 5, the women had the women mortgage off their sons, their daughters. All right. Even though it's to our people, you'll see that the women do whenever hard times and adversity come around, these women gonna fucking fold, man. All right, they got our children or different things like that. You gotta just pray to the Lord that your children and nothing don't have power over you, man. But Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, because these women gonna soon as anything happen, they gonna fucking break, man. Go ahead, Doc, you got it.
Yeah, it goes on to say, this is Sirach, chapter 11, verse 24. It says, again, say not, I have enough and possess many things, and what evil shall I have hereafter?
Mhm.
In the day of prosperity, there's a forgetfulness of affliction. All right. And in the day of affliction, there is no more remembrance of prosperity.
Yeah.
For it is an easy thing unto the Lord in the day of debt to reward a man according to his ways. All right. It says, an affliction of an hour make it a man forget pleasure. All right. And in his end, his deeds shall be discovered.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, man. So it only take an hour for a man to forget all those pleasures, all the nights out, parlaying, drinking, all right, popping bottles, all right, rubbing on, the women, hollering, doing your thing, man. You out here. It only take just a little bit for the Lord to make you forget that, and you be bugged out, man. All right, you be through. And a lot of you Jakes out there that live this type of lifestyle, you're gonna be through, man. You're not thinking about how about Shyam Shai. All right, you sitting up there, you living in the pleasures of Babylon the Great, man. So when things really turn upside down, you're gonna be lost. You're gonna be in a state of confusion.
Yeah.
Right? You're not gonna know what to do. A lot of you, and I'm gonna say this too, a lot of you are gonna go back out to the highways and byways where brothers teach at, looking to seek the men of the Lord, and you're not gonna find them, man. All right, because we're coming into a time where the Lord's finna basically pull his men in, all right, off those streets, all right, and they're gonna cut this internet off too, man, right along with the lights and every damn thing else, and you're gonna be really assed out, ass in the breeze. Go ahead, out.
Con, this that word scarce. It says restricted in quantity, and that's what we've been talking about. All right, what it's called when the brothers be, you say you got a little bit in the bag, but you paying much, but then they giving you little, they squeezing the quantity down.
You talking about inflation? It's on tip of my tongue.
Not stagflation. Damn, Salaki, brother. Uh, damn, Salaki. But it says restricted in quantity, barely sufficient in amount or effective. So it's gonna be barely enough. All right. If not, really, it ain't gonna be enough for you people, huh?
Shrinkflation.
Shrinkflation. Yeah, shrinkflation. Matter of fact, I'll pull that up. If you could pull that up, let's see if you got something good on that. What they actually say about that shrinkflation. All right. It says few in number, so things is getting very scarce out here. All right, and without the prophets on the scene, all hell gonna break loose. All right, the only reason why the Lord ain't hurt the earth, because of the oil and the wine, which is symbolically speaking of who the elect men. See that you don't hurt the oil and the wine, man. All right, but for everything else, put taxation and just do whatever you please against these people, man. All right, but the elect gonna be taken care of, man. You got something for it?
Yeah, I'm trying to get it now. Hold up, I gotta hook it up on the other screen.
Yeah, this Lamentations 5:10. It says our skin was black like an oven because of the terrible famine. And a lot of people gonna wax worse. They're gonna wax pale. Fear gonna be holding, which is synonymous for fear. All right. A lot of people is in fear now. You know, they don't know what they're gonna do. All right, you know, in this upcoming week, because a lot of people depend on those SNAP benefits, man. Government assistance and whatever assistance they're getting assisted with, they depend on it. All right. And when the famine come, all right, you see the true color of people. You see the true color in which people actually need it. You know, those people that they was under. I'm gonna jump to Lamentations 5 and 6. I'm gonna start at 5. It says, our necks are under persecution. We labor, we have no rest. We have given a hand to the Egyptians and to the Assyrians to be satisfied with bread. What it say? Woe to him that trusted in the arm of man, brother. Because I paraphrase that, but I gotta get that, bro. Woe to him who trusted in arm of man. Isn't who trusted? Salad, bro. I'm looking for it. Yeah. Oh, this is Jeremiah 17 and 5. Salaki, brother. It says, thus say Yahweh, curse be the man that trusted in man, bro, and making flesh his arm whose heart departed from the Lord. All right. So a lot of these people have went down to Egypt for help, and the Lord have put the Egyptians against the Egyptians, man. All right. What it say? Shrinkflation. Yeah, that's the meaning of shrinkflation. Is a rise in the general price level of goods per unit of weight or volume brought about by a reduction in the weight or size of the item sold. Yeah, this like a unfair balance. And the Lord say anything that's not a balance is abomination. So what the Lord is causing, all right, the Lord is causing an imbalance in things, man. All right, that people may be in straits of it. It says a rise in a general price level of goods, which the price of things have went up, man. All right, eggs, all right, amongst other things, but you don't get the same quantity of or amount.
That's why when
you got,
you know, back then, you know, when you was, you know, whatever. That's why now you might try to buy you might buy some whey protein or some type of chips. Just say you buy some healthy chips or whatever. That's why it's this much air in the bag and the chips are at the bottom, man. That's shrinkflation to give you less product, but for more the amount, you know, that's what you're getting. And that's what these devils do. That's why when you go to the store, you might have a hamburger back then. You know, the hamburger was this big, and now that same hamburger is double the price, but it's this small. You know, inflation, man. You know, and like I say, you know, that's what's going on in a lot of cases now. You know.
Yeah, that's why even through the spirit, we gotta be aware of, you know, we gotta be diligent in, you know, how we distributing our daily bread and what we get, because Jay get the bare minimum, you know, which is enough. All right, but we can't be out here, like you say, just, you know, loosely buying things that's unnecessary, you know, and amongst other things. All right, we got to start counting the cost, because we still have to utilize what we have. That's part of having wisdom. Give me Ecclesiastes 7 and 10. Brother, we're going to get 10, 12, and 14. Ecclesiastes. All right. And we got to know how to put things in order as well. Huh?
Ecclesiastes 10?
7. 7 and 10.
7 and 10.
Yeah, we got to, like the brother said, we got to, because of the shrinkflation and different things like that, we got to improvise. You know, we got to, brothers buy things, cook in quantities and different things like that. We got to cut back. Shit, 2 chicken plates. You guys now, audience, you know, other brothers, it's $50, brother. Oh, it's $53. No, no lie. It's 15 piece with fries, just general. That's just $50, man. All right. It's just getting out of hand. And you know they ain't give you a handful of fries, a little bit of chicken, man. But it's Ciroc 42, and then we're gonna get that next. And 7. it says, deliver all things. I'm gonna read the top one. It says, of these things be not thou ashamed, and accept no person to sin thereby. Verse 4, of exactness of balance and weights. See, or of getting much or little. So the exactness of balance and weights going to things that's what? That's of balance. Are the things that you getting, what you putting your money out towards, what you bringing in. All right, the balance of things. Now, verse 7, deliver all things in number and weight, and put all in writing that thou givest out or receivest in. So we supposed to be taking account of how we spending our money, how we utilizing what's going out, what we bringing back in grocery wise. We should be looking at our the amount of our groceries going up. You know, you're looking at the receipt, and now the things you used to pay for that was this price is the higher price now. You need to pay attention to that because that also expels what to you that what inflation is coming. Then hyperinflation, super inflation, all right, shrinkflation. All these things is what is informing us of the times that we in, man. Go ahead, Doc. You good with that?
You said wisdom, Ecclesiastes
7 and 10.
It says, say not thou what is the cause that the former days were better than these?
Yep.
For thou doest not inquire wisely, huh?
Yeah. It's yeah. For thou do not inquire wisely of this. And when you get this in the NLT, it says, don't long for the good old days. This is not wise. All right, because the times that once was that was better than these, like you say, they should thank themselves to been a good cake. Victuals was cheap. All times was different. You got a great quantity of when you bought things. All right, you can't long for those things because we're not in that season no more. Ecclesiastes tell you there's a time to get, all right, and there's a time to lose. We're in a season of losing right now. All right.
It says for
there's a time to reap and there's a time to sow, huh?
Yo, go ahead.
You got it.
Yeah, he goes on to say, it's for thou doest not inquire wisely concerning this.
Yep.
Wisdom is good with an inheritance, and by it there is profit to them that see the sun.
Yep, with those who have the knowledge and wisdom. All right, but this is the point. Go ahead.
For wisdom is a defense, and money is a defense. But the excellency of the knowledge is that wisdom give it life to them that have it.
Right. So it says wisdom is a defense and money is a defense. So if we, we get our daily bread, we're the poor, we're blessed in spirit. So we don't have money. What defends us now? The wisdom. All right. That's why wisdom is a defense. It's profitable to us because everybody gonna run out of money. All right. Because they ultimately, they're gonna just, do away with the money. But those who have the wisdom, they're gonna still be defended. All right. It says, but I'm gonna read this in another translation real quick. It says, for protection. Oh, in the NLT, it says wisdom and money can get you almost anything, but only wisdom can save your life. So that's why the king said, look, if the Lord can't help you, all right, how can I? All right, so wisdom is what's gonna save you from these famines, pestilence, and plagues, man. All right, the proper wisdom of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. I'm gonna jump to 14. I'm gonna read 14, brother. It says, in a day of prosperity, be joyful, but in a day of adversity, consider. So we're in a day of adversity. All right, when you measure the times that the Lord has start to begin the earth, you'll see this a time of adversity. All right. It says God also has set one over against the other to the end that man shall find nothing against him. So adversity is against joy. Joy is against adversity. But right now we're walking in those days of adversity. All right. You got something?
No, I was looking for something.
Con, this is Proverbs. I think is it 15? Yeah, I want to get that Nehemiah 5 too, because that's about as adverse as it get. All right, but when people do get in trouble, man, they revert to what they know. All right, or what they, whatever it is, they could sell, do whatever. All right, women, you know, women in general, they're gonna sell that box, they're gonna sell their children, all right, because they gonna do whatever to live to try to continue to what? Uh Offset the position of the current position there, man. All right. They're not about women, ain't about suffering. They ain't about going through nothing, man. All right. This Nehemiah.
A lot of these
Got
men the
something?
same way. I was about to say a lot of these men the same way. They ain't about suffering and going through nothing, man. You know, we had
Yep.
a situation with a particular person down here a long time ago where, you know, adversity hits, you know, he telling them, hey, chill, you know, the Lord gonna come through us. What happened? You know, the woman bust out, man. You know, but that's what happens, man. You know, you're gonna see people around you just fold when you don't have the air condition, man. When you can't just turn that little knob to 70, 72, whatever the temperature that they like. You're gonna get people gonna panic. People gonna lose it, man. All right. When the ice box empty. We finna see some things with this snap situation, man.
Yes.
We gotta see people lose their goddamn wigs out here, man. Literally, you know, because all
Yes.
they do is go buy junk food and sell that shit anyway, man. You know, DJ Donald Trump was talking about that. How they just sell a SNAP benefits, sell it off for cash and shit. That's all they do. You know, when they can't do that no more, and they don't have that, hey man, people are gonna resort to doing some crazy things out here, man.
Yes, brother. If you could put on, get Nehemiah 5, and I'm gonna read it a couple verses down in the NLT. Like you said, it's gonna get nasty, man. All right. It's gonna get nasty. And like men who don't serve the Lord, y'all might as well be as the women, man. All right. Y'all gonna follow these women, all right, until oblivion, man.
Mm-hmm. Wait,
Nehemiah 5. And I'm gonna get it in the NL. We're gonna read it in another version going down. I'm gonna read it from the top though. You got it?
5-1.
Yeah, 5-1. I got it. I just want to get it in another version. It just my shit ain't pulling up the NLT.
I can.
Yeah. I just want to read it on the other side. You know how you put it on the NKJV coming up, but I want the NLT. All right. But I might need to update this out. But it says Nehemiah 5-1. It says, and there was a great cry of the people and of their wives against their brethren, the Jews. Now, this is going against their brethren, the Jews, but we're going to see what happened. It says, for their word that said, we, our sons, and our daughters are many. Therefore, we take up corn for them that we may eat and live. Some also there were that said, we have mortgaged our lands, vineyards, and houses that we might buy corn because of the dearth. Now, you getting that word dearth, right? There's a famine, hunger. All right. So they say they mortgaged their lands, vineyards, and houses that they might buy corn because of the famine, man. It says there were also that said, we have borrowed money for the king's tribute and that upon our lands and vineyards. All right. So they are in the NLT, it says, and others say we have to borrow money on our fields and vineyards to pay our taxes, man. So a lot of people during this famine, they gonna borrow as much money, whatever income tax, credit cards or whatever they have, all right, or whatever thing they have to gain things, they gonna use it. They're gonna use all of it, man. All right.
They already doing it.
They already doing it.
They already
Yeah.
sent it. A lot of people's credit card bills are
Yep.
maxed out already, man.
Yep. And people in debt, in hella debt, man. It says, yet now it's basically killing people to live. It says, yet now our flesh is as the flesh of our brethren, our children are as their children. And lo, we bring into bondage our sons and our daughters to be servants, and some of our daughters are bought unto bondage already. Neither is it in our power to redeem them, for other men have our lands and vineyards. You know, now when Nehemiah heard this, they had did this unto each other. All right. But it says, and I was very angry when I heard that cry and these words. Then I consulted with myself and rebuked the nobles, the rulers, and said unto them, ye exact usury, every one of his brother, and I set a great assembly against them. Now, this dirt again was of our people against their own people, but they was mortgaging and giving everything up because of the famine, man. All right, to other brothers, and they was charging them usury and different things like that. So how much more our enemies? What you think our enemies gonna do unto us? All right, if that's happening amongst Jews, it says, then I consulted with myself, or I read that, verse 8, and I said unto them, we after our ability have redeemed our brethren the Jews, which were sold unto the heathen. And will ye even sell your brethren, or shall they be sold unto us? Then they held their peace and found nothing to answer. All right. But keep going down. Also, I said, it is not good that ye do. Ought ye not to walk in the fear of our power because of the reproach of the heathen, our enemies? I likewise and my brethren and my servants might exact of them money and coin. I pray you, let us leave off this usury. All right. Restore, I pray you, them, even as they, their lands, their vineyards. I pray you to them, even as they, their lands, their restore their vineyards, their olive yards, their houses, also the 100th part of the money and of the corn and the wine and the oil that ye exact of them. All right. They said they will restore them or whatever or not. But when people get in tough positions, I read that to say that people mortgage everything they have, brother. Their sons, their daughters, their livelihood, they corn just to eat, man. All right. This was all done just so they could eat. They gave away their daughters, their houses, their mortgages, their vineyards, everything, man, just so they could eat. You got to do, brother.
Yeah, we're gonna see that again. And in some cases, you seeing it on a small level now, man. You know, yep. I noticed in the last 2 weekends, I've been seeing people having them good old garage sales, man. He's trying to get pennies on the dollar for anything, you know. You know, for real.
Yeah, a garage sale is when you ain't hit rock bottom. You ain't hit rock bottom. Ain't nothing new in there. It's all ran down. You know, it just you might make $25, man. You done sold $2,000 worth of stuff, man. Because people know you're in a position to where you hurt. People ain't gonna give you shit, man.
Yeah.
All right, they're gonna give you little or nothing in exchange for that. It's gonna be a lot of imbalances, unbalanced weights, man, going on. You know,
people going to the pawn shops. You know, they turning in all this stuff, man. You know.
Yep. That's all I had, brother. Unless you had anything else, that's pretty much all I had.
No, that's cool. Yeah. Straight to the point, man.
So the food supply and the free fall. All right, you know, the supply chain. All right, everything is culminating into a fall of this society or this rulership. All right, and people just at this point, you know, if you ain't serving the Lord, man, you're gonna starve to death. You're gonna eat your children. All right, and you're gonna get those plagues that sent those scourges for amendments, man. Yeah, all right, because you're gonna bug out.
You're gonna bug out because of the times, man. You know, pressure. Yep. The pressure gonna make you bug out, you know.
Yeah, the plague of the heart too. A lot of people gonna have a plague of the heart, man. You know, because their mind's gonna drive their fucking mind crazy. All right, but that's part of that's part of a lot of these people's judgment. And like you said, my man gonna laugh and eat that day. I'll take us out with that one. And that day we gonna laugh and eat when ain't nobody laughing to eat, man. When people crying and mourning. All right. Servants shall laugh. Eat, yes, servants. Come on. This is yeah, I just paraphrased it. What the hell? But cause I don't know what's going on with this fucking app. But it says you know, his servant's gonna eat that day. All right, and he shall be hungry, man. You know, and Lord willing, he do this thing as soon as possible, man. Cause we ready to get the hell up out of here, man. All right. We tweaking for the Lord to come back, man. And we just want the kingdom of heaven, you know. So that pretty much was it. So Lord willing, this, you know, this lesson was edifying to the whole free elect and those that are listening. So with that, we want to give infinite honors and prayers to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua, by Shemar Kakwadash, the bondage to the elders and apostles, the great millstone, the solid teaching to the items that's pushing the truth and sincerity. To
Yeah,
next time, I want to say shalom. Shalom.